this is the big go-to Moza Air 2. The key about this thing is there's a nice power source where I can actually take the power from here and fuel this. It also has some great features, and I'll go into this little step-up system here that I've got in another video if you're curious. But this has this trigger. I just love the fluid motion. You just can't get, it's great for what we do. And we do a lot of, well, we shoot everywhere. So we've got some really cool videos coming up, some cool short films coming up that utilize this. But we're also utilizing the one that she's holding right now, which is, let me turn this on here. So the one that she's holding, which is the Moza Air Cross. The nice little thing about the Moza Air Cross is that it can actually hold this beast. And I will demonstrate that in a second. There is a little thing that you have to have before you can mount the Blackmagic design, the Pocket 4K. The thing is it's a very heavy weighted camera to one side. Now I'm using the small rig cage on it, so you might get different mileage without that cage. But I don't handle that thing and bring it out into nature and the potential for it falling and everything else without that cage. So that's plus all the mounting options that are available to it. So what I also did to help make this work much more efficiently is from Small Rig, they have this little clamp. This works very well. It's got some beefiness to it. It's a solid piece of metal. It also has nice little grips on the inside here. If we get a close-up of that. So there's nice soft grips in here so that you don't mar up any of your surfaces. And the mechanism itself is really nice and refined. It has a spring on the inside here which keeps that tension going. It's actually a beautiful piece of work, so they did well. And it has all the mounting holes so that you can add the extra weights to it. These are the extra weights. It comes with two, one rather large one and then this one. And again, they mount rather well onto the device. And if you needed the extra weight, that's where that would be. You could mount that any direction. You can mount it under as a great, they really thought this out. So we mount that to here. And again, you can mount it according to wherever you need the extra weight. If you're putting it up here, it changes where the load is. If you put it out here, it's more on the extension of the arm, which gives where you wouldn't necessarily, depending on what you have mounted on the Blackmagic 4K, you may not need that extra weight on there. So you just tighten that on there and it's a secure, it is not sliding. Then I start putting on the rest of the Blackmagic. To get this on here, there's a little sliding adjustment that you can move this plate in and out. Now, because it's so heavy, you can go out to the max, at least on my cage and with what I've got on here. I can't do it without the actual Small Rig weight on there and get any good balance. So the nice thing is they have the same sliding mechanism. So basically they have the same mounting plate on that works on the Moza Air Cross as well as the Moza Air 2. So then it's just a matter of now I've got to kind of balance this, and you can see this is really heavy weighted to one side. I'm going to turn this off so I don't work that. So I'm going to just kind of lock this in place, and I have to counter this. So I'm going to pull this back over here, get it to where I need. My original mounting on this, I did not need the extra weight, but because I'm putting the SLR ND filter with the step-up rings, it actually was heavier than what I originally had set up for this. So I'm going to just put the counterweight on there. And you can see it balances it pretty heavily to that side. So now I can adjust this accordingly. Now I just need to get it in position to where it's not so heavy on one side and it throws off what I'm doing here. And this, there we go. This tips back pretty far. Now generally whenever I'm doing any type of balancing, I generally do have the lens cap on so that I'm not touching it and getting prints all over it. However, it's one of these things, do as I say, not as I do. This is just for a time. So we're getting this back into play. These are working pretty nicely. Small adjustments here and there. We've got a bit of a tilt that side. Just gonna pull it. There we go. This works here. Still tilts forward a bit. Lean this out. And the Moza Air 2, I like the levers that flip. It's much faster. I get a bit more of a, this is it, so that's set. A bit more of a tactile leveraging system on that. I'm going to tilt it side to side, pull this back because it was set up for the GH4, which by the way is a camera rocks. It gets great image quality, and that's what we're filming right now with. So that's set up, and I'm going to power this on. Boom, it goes. This is for fast rigs, so this is when you want to grab this and you don't want to have that extra weight. The Moza Air 2 is a bit heavier. Again, it's a beast for the beast. So whenever I want to mount all my other accessories on there, that's what I will use. All right, so it gets a good image. So regardless of how quickly we're moving this up or down, or we start walking and we start tracking, it does a pretty great job. And again, this is a heavier camera, so it works really well on that. 3 taps will get you back to center, to where it actually works there. So 2 will get you back to follow focus. Works really well, as you can see. It's got a great movement, great control. And again, we're looking at something that's got a heavier camera on this, and the movement is really fluid. Little crane shots coming into focus. Okay, with the addition of the small rig with that extra weight, you're kind of set. And the Moza Air Cross is great. They have a Moza Air Cross 2 coming out. Haven't checked that out yet. This is a great little rig for run and gun. Again, the weight difference on this is really huge, whereas in the one she's carrying right now, that requires the strap if you're doing it for long periods of time, or it requires really good forearms, and you do get much stronger when you're filming with that for 6 hours a day. This one doesn't require as much. It has the only thing that's really the massive weight is this, but as with the nice mounting plates, you can slide out both cameras really quickly. Just adjust that base. Works really well. As you can see, it's not having a problem with movement, with follow focus, with rotating when I need to. And again, I can go into the Moza app. It has all the other features as far as your time-lapse photography, time-lapse video, doing it through waypoints and so forth. Does really well. And so I'm pleased with this. We've got a critter up there. So I'm very pleased with this, and so is my crew that has to occasionally use a rig like this for quite a long time. Their forearms are happy. So any questions, put it in the comments below, please, and subscribe, and we'll get more videos to you.